where are they trying to fit in the mining space? What's the, not just the value, but from an operational standpoint, where are they looking?
So I think we're really focusing on six key areas of focus: integrated operations, looking at process optimization, maintenance, sustainability, commercial off-the-shelf solutions, or IBM proprietary solutions, as well as supply chain. So kind of those 6 areas are really where we're seeing within the mining industry that we have solutions that have been proven, and we can provide value to our client base within that area.
Can you give examples? Can you pull out one or two of those 6s and say, okay, what is, I mean, I'm the furthest thing from understanding software, computers. Like I don't run all this stuff. So could you kind of walk me through pick out a couple of those and then walk us through what that actually is?
Sure. I think, and probably if you're at some of the talks here today, you're going to hear integrated operations. That's, kind of hot right now in terms of mining industry. Everyone wants to talk about it, but really all that we're looking at there is how you integrate your value chain, going from your mine to your mill, your logistics, and your port operations, how you actually bring that together. Mm-hmm. And when you're looking at, okay, where do I want to see business improvement? Well, you're going to want to look where you're going to realize the business improvement quickest, right? And that's going to be likely within your operational space. So how can you improve your operations to connect that entire value chain so that you don't have disparate KPIs between different areas of your business that are maybe in conflict? Like if you make an improvement to your processing plant, do you have the right ore to actually feed it? Or now you've increased your throughput, do you have the logistics and sales network actually in place to actually manage that entire value chain? So what we've been able to do with a number of clients is actually to build out solutions where we integrate that value chain, starting with that operations, but you can probably quickly ascertain that once you have that established operational value chain, well, you need to plan for that. You need to plan for success. So actually how you actually have integrated operations through the operational situational component, actually planning for that, and then actually having the post-mortem as you look at your reporting in terms of how well you actually performed, and pulling that all together. Honestly, that's kind of the excitement. And you hear the word digital twin. I'm always cautious in using that because it means too many different things, but it's really about how you bring your entire system so that you can have that single source of decision making along your driving your objectives.
Okay, the big question then for me becomes, when companies must, let's say they're not a client of yours, mm-hmm. and you're starting that process, they're interested in, finding more about, where you specialize and everything. That's the conversation's going. Are you trying to integrate? Are you trying to get them to switch the system that they're using? I mean, is it all the above? Sort of where are you entering the market at?
It's the yes and kind of to that. So really it's understanding what solutions you have in place, right? You may have some best of breed solutions that are currently in place. You may identify some gaps or applications that may need to be sunsetted. So really when I were to, start an engagement with the client, understanding what they're actually looking for. And, if we use this holistic integrated operations lens, what assets do they have currently in place? What assets do they want to bring online or scheduled? And actually where IBM can really flex its muscle, if you will, is the ability to be a system integrator, be able to create interoperability between these various systems and actually establish a data platform so that you can have those integrated decisions from a single data source. And that's really a differentiator, I think, is we're very open to working with other providers and vendors and stitching it together. Yes.
Like I've had conversations, they're just, the single stream technology is absolutely amazing. One question I'm always kind of on the edge, and I don't want to push it too hard because, obviously they don't, it's not their business. They don't have the answer, but they've got all these data sets for all these different, it's like, okay, but we got 10 different types of sensors and 10 different tracking systems. And so is IBM actually can they go into one of these large scale mine and go, okay, we're going to take all these different ways of collecting data and we're going to put them together?
So
it's beyond even asking that question. I don't even feel qualified to ask the questions. I don't know, but
it quickly comes to a boil the ocean problem, and it comes down to start small, build some early value within that space. And I can maybe give an example of one client that we actually worked with, where we built out a product where we actually their challenge was that they had 35 different plants. They had over 80,000 sensors, as you're alluding to, 100,000 asset tags, 700 plus employees working frontline. So the role of one of the operators was to ensure, the efficient operation of this plant.
Yeah.
Well, you can only imagine the different sensors and information you have coming at you real time. So how do you optimize a complex system like that? And that's where, we were able to start small, one plant at a time, integrating these systems where we were able to build a product that actually provided upset awareness, identified opportunities, and then also created optimization schedules based on various objective functions. And it's starting small.
Yeah.
It's a long process often, but really you can adjust and see how much value the solution is actually bringing. And then you can, once you get to that point of diminishing returns, you say, you know what, let's just move to a sustainment model on this right now. And let's move forward and see if there's other areas of the business that we can bring value.
Would 90% of those of your projects in the mining, would you be starting on a small, picking that area? And I was actually curious because I didn't know. I was thinking, well, if you're integrating into a system, I was kind of actually thinking you kind of got to go big or go home on that. But you're saying no, you actually can pick out a small part and put it together.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, there's often, when you think of machine learning models, AI models, things like flotation recovery, things that you have maybe decades of data actually going through and actually figuring out what reagent and what chemicals you should be looking at adding to maximize your recovery. That can be a small POC to you can determine whether or not you're seeing value on that, and then actually look at how you can expand that through your entire plant operation, right? So there's all different kinds of these small opportunities, and it's really, they're all great on their own, but you really have to be careful because you start cannibalizing value between them. Right. And that's the idea of kind of the whole IO lens, is how you actually make sure they're pulling on the same rope.